Hey guys, what's going on? This is Builder Lou with another LEGO Star Wars review. The set we are looking at is the biggest one we have yet seen, which is the 1999 LEGO Star Wars 7171 Mos Espa Podrace. This set was released on April 1st, 1999 for $90 in the US. Today, this set is valued at approximately $348 new and $148 used in November of 2024. This set contains 894 pieces and has a whole lot of features in it. This set contains 3 pod racers, Anakins, Gasganos, and Sebulbas. On top of that, you get 3 corresponding flag stands representing each pod. The minifigures that come in the set are Qui-Gon Jinn, R2-D2, Jar Jar Binks, Padme Nabiri, Anakin Skywalker, Gasgano, Sebulba, Anakin's pit droid, Gasgano's pit droid, and Sebulba's pit droid. On the front side of the box, we see the LEGO System logo and the LEGO Star Wars logo from 1999 for the Phantom Menace. Under the LEGO logo, we see the set number of 7171, and under that, it reads Building Toy. Towards the bottom, we see the piece count of 894 and the age range of 8 to 12. To the right, we see the set name of Mos Espa Podrace, and then a really cool side-by-side look of the pod racers and how they differ in size, and their corresponding drivers. In the center of the front of the box, you can see all 3 of the pod racers racing past the cheering crowd. We see Anakin in front, and Sebulba is right next to him. In the back, you can see Gasgano slowly catching up to them. Off to the side in the cheering crowd, we see all of the heroes that watched the race. R2-D2, Jar Jar Binks, Qui-Gon Jinn, Padme Nabiri, and the pit droids. On the top of the box, we see the set number of 7171, and under that, we see the LEGO System logo. To the right, we see 2 links, one taking us to the LEGO website, and then one taking us to the official Star Wars website. In the middle, we see a really cool advertisement picture featuring the LEGO Club. It then reads that instructions are included for main model, and that this set was made in Denmark and was distributed in the USA by LEGO Systems Incorporated. Lastly, we see the LEGO Star Wars 1999 logo for the Phantom Menace. On the bottom of the box, we see the barcode and the trademark licensing. Next to that, we see a creepy photo of Darth Maul and an advertisement to join the official Star Wars fan club. To the right, we see the set information of 7171 Mos Espa Podrace, and then a cool picture of the 3 pod racers in front of a glowing circle. On the right side of the box, we see the LEGO Systems logo and the set number of 7171. Behind that, Anakin's face is blocked out, but it appears that he is waving at the camera while driving his pod racer. The second picture shows Anakin and his pod racer, and all of his friends are either helping to work on his pod or are cheering him on. Also to note, everything in this photo comes out of the first box. The third photo shows all of the figures next to each other. Lastly, on this side of the box, we see a warning that this set contains small parts which may be hazardous to children under the age of 3. On the left side of the box, we see the LEGO Systems logo and the set number of 7171. Behind that, we see Sebulba driving his pod racer. The middle photo shows both Sebulba's and Gasgano's pit droids working on their pod racers. The last photo has the Star Wars logo in front of it and shows Gasgano driving his pod racer. On the back side of the box, for the last time, we see the LEGO System logo and the set number of 7171. To the right, once again, it shows the Phantom Menace LEGO Star Wars logo from 1999. I love this back side of the box because there is so much going on. Towards the middle, we see all the minifigures all taking apart their pod racers to reassemble them into different and cool builds. All of the builds differ, such as stands for the crowd to cheer in, and others are speeders and spaceships. Really cool designs on most of these alternative builds. Now let's get this box opened up. As you can see, this box is set up a lot differently than most sets. This one contains 3 smaller sets contained into 3 separate boxes. To start off, this set contains Anakin's pod racer, Gasgano's pod racer, Sebulba's pod racer, the instructions, an advertisement pamphlet for the LEGO Club, and an advertisement booklet for other LEGO sets and themes. Starting off with the advertisement booklet, we see a cover page featuring a scene from the original trilogy. It shows Luke's X-Wing being chased by Darth Vader's TIE Advanced. You can see the trench in the background of the Death Star, and Darth Vader's mask faded out in the background. The first page shows a bunch of different logos for all of the different themes of LEGO. The next page shows an advertisement for LEGO Star Wars stating that it's coming summer of 1999 Star Wars Episode 1 collection, It's So Wizard. The different themes that are featured in this booklet are LEGO Star Wars, LEGO Rock Raiders, with a cool little comic strip, and a second page showing all of the different sets. These pages also folded out to show the LEGO Mania 1999 showcase. The next themes we see see are LEGO Adventures with multiple sub-themes, LEGO Ninja, LEGO Spaceport, LEGO Extreme Team, LEGO Rescue, LEGO City Center, LEGO Aquazone with Hydronauts, LEGO Stingrays, LEGO Insectoids, LEGO Radio Control, LEGO Throwbots, and LEGO Cyber Slam. On the back side of the booklet, we have an advertisement for the LEGO Club and a cutout to put all of your information on. For the LEGO Star Wars page, it shows the LEGO Star Wars logo for the original trilogy from 1999. Below that, we see some recognizable figures like the Imperial Scout Trooper, Luke Skywalker in his Rebel pilot uniform, and R2-D2. The sets we see are the 7130 Snowspeeder, the 7110 Luke's Landspeeder, the 7150 TIE Advanced in Y-Wing, the 7140 X-Wing, and the 7128 Luke vs. 2 Scout Troopers on Endor. The booklet for the LEGO Club includes an advertisement for all of these different sets. There's even a listing for the 7140 Luke's X-Wing. Towards the back of the booklet, there is an area where you can fill out your information and then you can mail it out with the envelope they provide you. For the instructions, the cover is exactly like the front side of the box. The back side of the instructions is also like the back side of the box. Throughout the book, the instructions are really simple and easy to follow, making building this set really straightforward and a breeze to put together. It has it mapped out where you are going to tackle the contents of Anakin's Podracer first, and then Gasgano's Podracer, leaving Sebulba's Podracer for last. At the end of the instruction booklet, there is some comics that we have been seeing in the past few sets. I just love seeing these and how creative they were combining LEGO stories with Star Wars stories. In this one, it starts off with all three of the pod racers hovering in place, and all of the characters are conversing behind Sebulba's pod, when suddenly Qui-Gon Jinn notices that there is a tornado headed their way. All of the characters are in shock and try to run from this random tornado, but it sucks up all of their pods and the characters. Jar Jar is the first character that is thrown from the tornado. He quickly uses the pieces around him to build a flying craft to survive the fall. Meanwhile, Anakin is spit out by the tornado, but can't manage to build anything, so he smacks against the surface of a hole in the ground. Padme, in a mad dash, puts together a small hoverjet-looking craft and avoids getting hurt. Lastly, Qui-Gon Jinn and R2-D2 are thrown from the tornado. On the next page, you can see the alternative builds that Jar Jar and Padme both built. For the last part of the comic, Qui-Gon Jinn and R2-D2 build a very large hovercraft to survive the fall. They all meet together, but begin to wonder what happened to Anakin. Out of nowhere, the earth begins to shake and crumble as a massive crack forms where they were all talking. Qui-Gon Jinn thinks to himself, "Oh no, it's a day filled with natural disasters," but then suddenly, Anakin appears from the crevice in a rock drilling device he had built to get out of the hole. Everyone cheers as they throw him in the air, happy that they are all reunited once again. On the last page, you can see the alternative builds for the large hovercraft and the rock drilling mechanism. Now let's take a look at Anakin's Podracer box. On the front side of the box, it shows the LEGO system logo and the set number of 7171, the Star Wars logo, and the age range of 8 to 12. You can also see the warning again about the hazard for 3-year-olds or younger. The center of the box shows what's specifically inside this box. The rest of the box's sides have nothing to note other than the bottom, which has trademark licensing, the set number of 7171, and red bricks at the bottom, which I have no idea what they signify. Now let's open up this set. Inside this box, we get 4 bags of Legos, 2 2x16 sand-colored plates, 2 hoses, and 1 brown cape. Let's open up those bags and start getting this set built. First, let's start off by building the minifigures, which are super simple. The first one we will build is Qui-Gon Jinn. Qui-Gon Jinn, in my opinion, is a great character design from this era. He is featured with yellow skin, the printing on his face is very solid, he has a stern facial expression, I think that his beard and eyebrows illustrate that very well. His front torso is that of standard Jedi robes. There is no back printing on his torso or legs. His legs have no printing on them at all. His hairpiece I think is very nice and is very accurate to the character. It does, however, pop off fairly easily, and you don't have full mobility with turning the head of Qui-Gon Jinn with it. He also comes with a cape, which I think is a very nice feature for him to come with. He does, however, not come with a lightsaber, and that is mainly because in this scene that this set is featuring, Qui-Gon Jinn doesn't use his lightsaber at all. So it's okay that it doesn't come with it for that fact. However, I'm sure that individuals would feel that it is a missed opportunity for a play feature to be had for just a few pieces. Qui-Gon Jinn's minifigure number is SW0027 and is worth about $16 new and $6 used in November of 2024. Next, we are going to build Anakin Skywalker. Anakin Skywalker is a good minifigure at the time. He is featured with his yellow skin and the clothing he is wearing while living on Tatooine. I think that his front torso printing and coloring is very accurate to his character. The only thing that he is missing is the short legs, but I do not think that they were invented yet. He has no printing on the back of his torso or legs. He does not come with any hairpiece, just the helmet that he wears during the pod race, which I think looks pretty good on him either up or down. Anakin's minifigure number is SW0008 and he is worth about $8 new and $4 used in November of 2024. Next minifigure we are building is Jar Jar Binks. Jar Jar Binks, I think, is a great character representation of the film. His torso is showing his shirt and vest that he wears throughout all of episode 1. He has no printing on the back of his torso and no printing at all on his legs. His head mold is really good and doesn't have any printing on it. It doesn't have full mobility, but it still can turn enough. Jar Jar's head mold is the first different head mold for LEGO Star Wars. Jar Jar Binks' minifigure number is SW0017 and he is worth about $9 new and $4 used in November of 2024. Next character is Padme Nabiri. Padme Nabiri is featured with yellow skin and very red lips. She has her eyebrow in a raised position, which gives a lot of character to this minifigure. She is wearing her clothing that she wears during her time on Tatooine. I think that it is very accurate to the film. Her legs have no printing on them. The back part of this character has no other face, printing on the back of the torso or the legs. Her hair, I think, is a fantastic representation of the character's hair during her Tatooine scenes. However, her hair is stagnant and cannot move with her head. Padme Nabiri's minifigure number is SW0025 and she is worth about $10 new and $5 used in November of 2024. Now let's build up R2-D2. I think that this is a very solid version of R2-D2, especially since it is the first rendition of the character. I very much like the head printing for the droid, and the front printing on the body of the droid is very accurate to the film. However, the back part of the body has no printing on it. I think that this design of the astromech droid is very good. The only thing that is sad is the lack of the third leg for when the droid is moving. R2-D2's minifigure number is SW0028, and it is worth about $5 new and $2 used in November of 2024. Lastly, for this box's minifigures, we are going to be building Anakin's pit droid. I think that the pit droid for display is a fantastic figure. However, the arms on this droid are so loose that just bumping them causes the arms to fall off. I think that in terms of representation of a pit droid, it does the job. The droid is really tall, which kind of throws off this figure to me. Overall, I'm happy that they try and make these hard to make figures with the Lego pieces they have at their disposal. The fold-up mechanism for this figure also looks weird compared to the film, but it is also something that you can do. Anakin's pit droid minifigure number is SW0037, and it is surprisingly worth $10 new and $5 used in November of 2024. Moving on to the structure of this box, which is Anakin's Podracer flagpole. Anakin's flagpole is a simple build. In no way does it resemble what the flag looked like in the film, but in terms of the colors that are on the flag, at least they got that right. I think that it is a cool thing to have for mock building though. Now let's move on to the best part, which is Anakin's Podracer. This pod was a lot of fun to make. I really think that this design is awesome and holds up to today's standards. I think that the color schemes and the printing tiles do a good job resembling the actual pod in the movie. I think that the triple air scoops look great in the front, but they do fall off of the pod very easily. The energy binder arc is a completely different wrong color, which bugs me, but again, it is of the time, and maybe making it transparent purple was not at their disposal. I'm not the biggest fan of how the control pod is connected to the engines. The sand just looks weird, but I do get what they were trying to do by blending the ground to the pod racer. I think that Anakin's control sticks are great, and overall his control pod is pretty awesome. I really like his storage compartments on the side of the pod. Overall, this is an awesome pod and a must-have for any LEGO Star Wars Episode 1 collector. I would like to note that this set is sold in a smaller set, 7131, Anakin's Pod Racer. The only difference with that set is that the set only came with Anakin, Padme, and Anakin's pit droid. Let's move on to the second part of this set, Gasgano's Pod Racer. The front side of the box shows Gasgano's Pod Racer, Gasgano's pit droid, Gasgano's flag stand, and Gasgano. On the bottom of the box, which is another difference from Anakin's, is it shows two 2x4 yellow bricks at the bottom. Let's crack this set open and see what's inside.
Dude, this one has two. That's how you know it's good.
This set contains 5 bags of Legos, 4 2x16 sand-colored plates, 1 1x16 sand-colored brick, and 2 longer hoses. Let's open up these bags and get this pod built. Again, we will start off with the minifigures found in this box, starting off with Gasgano. Gasgano is not exactly the most accurate build since he is missing his legs, but for LEGO in 1999, I think that it is a pretty good attempt at depicting him from the movie. I do think that the face was well done. It is just mainly the composition of his body that throws this figure off. I think that his helmet and goggles are good, but then again, they're just like Anakin's and nothing is special about them. Gasgano's minifigure number is SW0043, and he is worth about $33 new and $16 used in November of 2024. Now let's build Gasgano's pit droid. Gasgano's pit droid is the same exact build as Anakin's except for the coloring. The droid is primarily white instead of a mix of brown and white for the torso. This droid still has the same exact functionality issues that I encountered with Anakin's, such as the arms falling off easily and the figure not looking the best when folded up. However, I am still very happy to receive this different type of droid in my LEGO collection. Gasgano's pit droid's minifigure number is SW0039 and it is worth about $10 new and $5 used in November of 2024. Now let's build up Gasgano's flag stand. While putting together this part of the set, we had to pull off some tools from this molded type of wheel. The wheel contains a screwdriver, hammer, drill, closed socket wrench, open socket wrench, and an oil canister. So I think this is a cool build for adding to the scene of the pod race. I like the tool rack that it has on it, however I don't remember seeing that in the film. The flag once again doesn't look anything like the flag seen in the film, and this time only green is associated with this flag, not black. I am still happy to have this with my collection, however. Lastly, for this box, let's put together Gasgano's Pod Racer. So I think that this build for Gasgano's Podracer is super good and fairly accurate to the movie. I'm sure you can argue that the engines should be a lot bigger, and in terms of the design, it is very accurate to the film. I really do like the color scheme, and I think they did a fantastic job integrating Gasgano's character with the pieces they have available. I think that Gasgano attaches to it quite nicely, and I think his control panel is cool. I also like the symbols that they put on his Podracer. Overall, I think that everything that was built out of this set so far is really cool, and I can totally see how a kid would have a great time playing with these pod racers. Now we are coming to the end of this set as we get to the third box, Sebulba's Podracer. The front side of the box shows Sebulba's Podracer, Sebulba's flag stand, Sebulba's pit droid, and Sebulba. On the bottom of the box, this time you see two green 2x4 bricks, which makes me think that the only correlation between the boxes having these bricks is to symbolize a stoplight, red, yellow, green. But then again, I don't see how that would make any sense. I don't see how Stop Yield Go would make sense with the sequence of building these sets. Anyway, let's open up this box and see what's inside. This box contains 4 2x16 sand-colored plates, Sebulba, 1 chrome angled pipe, 1 1x16 sand-colored brick, 2 long hoses, and lastly 6 bags of Legos. In total, there was 15 bags of Legos in this set. Now let's get those bags opened up. Let's start off with Sebulba, who is just one piece and does not require any assembly. I think Sebulba's mold looks really good. I am a little sad that there is no moving pieces, but in terms of representing his likeness from the movie, they are spot on. It looks like the color they went with is to represent his skin tone, even though he is wearing his driving helmet and goggles. I do think that he fits great in his Podracer, but he doesn't look all that great walking around or for a play factor. Sebulba's minifigure number is SW0980, and he is worth about $16 new and $10 used in November of 2024. The last minifigure of the whole set is Sebulba's pit droid. Let's get him put together. This pit droid is just like Anakin's and Gasgano's, except for the fact that the color scheme has changed once again to completely brown. I think that out of all of the pit droids, this one has the best representation because of how the pit droids look in the film, which is they are primarily brown. Their eye lens is off and it should be black, not yellow or clear with a black background. Either way, I am happy to be adding this pit droid to my collection. Sebulba's pit droid's minifigure number is SW0064, and it is worth about $14 new and $7 used in November of 2024. It is kind of funny that it is almost worth as much as Sebulba's unique molding. Moving on to the structure part of this set, let's take a look at the build of Sebulba's flag stand. Like Gasgano's before, we had to pull out some more tools out of the wheel mold. It was very cool getting 2 of these in the set, so that way it shows how the different pit teams are separate. This build is exactly like Gasgano's flag stand, except for the change of color in the flag. This flag is a little bit more accurate in terms of the colors matching, but it is still way off, which I understand they weren't going to print out an actual flag or a tile. Now let's build up Sebulba's cool Podracer. Sebulba's Podracer is very large, just like it is in the movie. I think that it is a very accurate representation of the movie version, which is super cool. I thought that this pod was so cool when I watched the movie as a kid. The engine noise that this pod made was so awesome. I think that the features on the pod are really cool, where you flip out the saws to attack Anakin's or Gasgano's Podracer. Sebulba himself looks really good in the pod, and I think that the overall design of the pod was very well thought out and functions really great. Once again, however, it is disappointing to see that the energy binder Pathfinder arcs are not colored correctly. Overall, this set is so cool, and I am so happy I finally got to put this set together. I think that the whole set is so good in terms of recreating the pod racing scene from the film. It was such an iconic part of the film, and having all of these characters, pod racers, coming out of one set is very cool. I'm going to rate this set a 9 out of 10 because of the variety of things you get in the set. I could see 3 friends racing with these pod racers. I could see a kid playing by himself having a blast playing with all of these pod racers. It also makes a pretty solid display piece since the sets are so large. That is the end of the 1999 series for the Phantom Menace. I am now going to be moving on to the year 2000, which has some really cool sets, and we can see how LEGO is ever evolving as time goes on. On top of that, I am now starting to turn my review area into a mock diorama, which is super fun. So in future videos, you are going to see the background changing depending on which set I am reviewing. For example, I would like to make my future reviews by making a background that is relevant to that set. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. The next set I'm going to be doing is the 3340 Star Wars number 1 set from 2000. For the last part of the video, I'm going to show you how the collection is growing. As you can see, we added the 3 new pit droids to the collection. First we added Sebulba's, then Anakin's, and lastly Gasgano's pit droid. Now in this next part we added R2-D2 and Qui-Gon Jinn, who you really can't see at this angle. Since this Qui-Gon Jinn didn't have a lightsaber, I felt that this one will represent Qui-Gon Jinn's time on Tatooine. Next we added the 2 new flag stands, Gasgano's and then Sebulba's. After that you can see that we added Gasgano's pod racer and then Gasgano himself driving his pod. Over on the right we added Sebulba's pod racer and then lastly Sebulba. So that is the 1999 collection for the Phantom Menace, and again any repeats did not make it into the collection because there is no need to have 2 of Anakin's pod racers. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Leave a like and have a wonderful day. Also, stay tuned for the next one.